Darren Venter from Strat Prop Buyers Agency in Sydney. Welcome to the show, mate. Great to see you.
Thanks, Trent. Good to see you again too, mate. Keeping well?
I am. Hey, let's talk investment
Good.
properties. You
Good.
obviously are a buyer's agent. You buy investment properties for your clients, but how do you choose that one investment property to buy out of thousands that are available in the marketplace?
Yeah, mate, it's a very good question. Thousands is correct. I mean, actually, there's around 3,500 suburbs that we monitor at any given go. But so the way that we would typically find that property for our clients is we actually have to profile our clients out. And we do this in terms of a questionnaire format, and it's called an FPS profile. So it's understanding what their finances, provisions, and structures are. And if we understand what they're able to provide in terms of the finances and provisions and time availability towards the actual property uplift or property growth, then we're able to put them into a marketplace. And we do this by means of segmenting the market throughout the whole of Australia. So we are nationwide buyers agencies, and we actually segment the whole market and find exactly what's going to work for our clients based on what they can provide.
Gotcha. And I guess segmenting that can be really difficult, but data is such a big thing for you guys, and access to data information is key. So how do you use data or information in your business to find those marketplaces?
Yeah, it's a huge thing for us. There's a lot of ways that you can use data, and there's a lot of confusing ways to use data, but we like to keep it quite simple, and we like to base our whole concept of creating a scenario or situation of a prediction of a property, literally on the old terms of being in the right place at the right time. And if you actually take a look at timing and placement, it's a very good tool to use, because there's quite a few structures and strategies you can use in timing and placement. So if you look at placement, you're looking at the area that you're looking in, but also the areas around it which can influence that area. Then if you're looking at the timing for it, you're actually looking for that information in that area and around right now, yesterday or historically, and then also in the future. So understanding what sort of infrastructure is going into an area, understanding that sort of market movements and the demographic movement of population shifting into and out of an area, understanding all of that in the here and there versus the yesterday, today, and tomorrow format allows you to create a really robust plan of conceptualizing what is going to be able to work for our clients and proposing a good plan forward in their actual investment property. And then we obviously take that back to their FPS profile, match that up with what they can provide, and we create a plan for them. And it's a really robust way of doing things, and we really enjoy it, and it works very well for our clients.
And obviously, like a financial breakdown, once you find that property, that's awesome. But the financial breakdown is also critical. Do you think that, I guess, your mum and dad investors may miss a couple of data points when looking at the financial return on investment on a property? I've actually been on your site a number of times before, and you have this really cool calculator on there. So yeah, are there some things that I guess your typical investors would miss when they go to look at a financial breakdown on their property?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we always talk about yields a lot because we want to understand what the property is going to cash flow, what the projection on cash flow is going to be at least. But what a lot of people don't take into account is obviously the gross and net yields. And gross yields are fair enough, but net yields are the actual real returners. And we have to understand what is taken into account when we're calculating those things out. So, there's the management fees of the property itself, there's the taxes, insurances, the actual loan applications, services for cleaning, vacancy time on the market when we're renting it out to different clients, and the period when the property is actually vacant. A lot of these things, as well as the loan structure, how are you going to be structuring the loan? So once we understand all of these different bits of information, we can actually plug it into our calculator on the website, and allows our clients to actually put their actual property information in terms of the price that they want to pay for a property, as well as the projected growth for that property, which they can find out on the calculator. There's a little guide which shows us how to actually be able to predict a growth towards a very rough estimate, but it allows us to actually create a 10-year plan or a 10-year forecast of what that property will project. However, I just need to disclose 10 years is a very long time for an investment property. We don't like to use it as a rule of thumb that's going to be the actual end-all case and the end-all calculation. But you can typically probably work it out quite accurately to two or three years predictions. And that calculator sheet that actually gets sent through to you gives you a breakdown in terms of your return on investments and your property growth, as well as your cash flow situation on that property.
And I guess without giving away the secret sauce in terms of the exact suburbs that you like investing in at the moment, obviously there's huge sea change and tree change kind of happening. Obviously regional areas are starting to see really good kind of population growth. There's some area, like I guess broad areas that you like investing in at the moment because they do hit a lot of those, I guess in your investment criteria.
Yeah, there are a lot of areas that we are looking at the moment, and we actually are being quite active in at the moment. So they are the regional areas, which you're right. And there's pockets of the Sunshine Coast which have got some really good options available at the moment. Regional Victoria's got some really good options too. But we're also seeing a bunch of movement around other areas like South Australia, close to Adelaide. There's some really good movement going on there. But it's also, and when I say movement, it's also very pocketed movement, so it's regional movement. And the reason why this is happening is because we're seeing a very big shift in population at the moment. We touched on earlier that it is all about population movement and how population comes into and goes out of an area. And with COVID going on at the moment and people losing their jobs and people looking for different lifestyles where they can get into pockets and actually enjoy their lifestyles for a very valuable return on an investment, where they're actually not having to fork out heaps of money to be able to live close to the city. They're able to separate themselves a bit more. So it's for a couple of reasons, namely those two, which are creating this very interesting population movement at the moment into these regional areas of Queensland's got a lot of it going on at the moment. But also there's a lot of movements going into these other areas because of government's help. And there's incentive programs like the Fast Track 20, where the government's putting in multiple billions of dollars of infrastructure expenditure into areas. And there's a lot of this sort of stuff going on. So finding those little pockets of these areas where people are moving into, which is backed by the infrastructure expenditure by the government, these are pretty much the places where we're looking at the moment, without giving too much away, of course.
Sure. You've built something really cool within your business called the Client Portal app, if I'm not mistaken. So if I'm a client, or I sign on with you and you help me obviously find a property, how does the Client Portal app, I guess, kind of help me? How does that kind of the flow? Is it just kind of keeping me updated with the whole process and where we are from, I guess, kind of start to finish?
Yeah, so the way, you're right, we have an app and we basically put all of our clients who we take on into the app, and we give them a login, and they're able to see the 19 steps of acquisition, and they're able to log on at any given time. And this proves quite valuable for a lot of our clients, because a lot of our clients do work shift hours where they're in hospitals or doctors, and they do work odd times, or they're in the mines. We've also actually got a couple of investors at the moment, a couple in New York, Singapore, and then another couple that we've just taken on that are just moving over to Abu Dhabi. And these guys obviously are very different time zones. So they're able to log into the app and have a look at where we are. And we update those steps as we go along, most days. And we're able to upload any sort of supporting documentation. We write a little blurb about what we're doing on the day. And then we've also got a live chat inside the actual app. So that basically if there isn't anything that we need to chat about, we can leave a message there for them. They can log back on when they get the notification, when it suits them, and have a look and leave a message for us and get back to them. That doesn't discard any other communication. It's just another form of communication, but it's something that helps our clients get more information that basically not having to bother us, and we're not having to bother them in the wrong time. So it's just a bit more of a transparent approach to the actual acquisition of the property.
And contact details, if I'm a buyer, I'm interested in your services, I want to chat a little bit more, how do I get in contact with you?
You can get us on the website. It's www.stratprop.com.au, or you can get me on my mobile 0404 290 149, or darren@stratprop.com.au.
Darren, thanks so much for joining the series with Soho. Great to see you again.
Thanks, Trent. Always a pleasure, mate.
Thanks for watching. If you want to check out more, visit sohoapp.com, or if you're looking at adding your properties into Soho and connecting your CRM, check out the links in the description below.